Yeah, hello. Let's see. Welcome to the Entired Retreat channel. My name is Ode. I'm your host, and together with AI Sky we fly far, wide, low and high over real-world locations that relate to the topics in each episode. But yeah, not today, because I thought that I would do a so-called performance and appearance review of the new Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 game/simulator. Depends on who you are asking and how hardcore kind of simulator fans that are out there. But yeah, so jumping into it, I'm gonna add this into the description of the video, but I am playing with more or less the low end or minimum specification PC, according to what Microsoft provided or provides as information on their site, relating to systems that run the game. Well, good enough, let's say, adequately. I'm not sure, difficult word for me, but yeah. Anyways, close to the lowest spec or specification that Microsoft provides, and I'm playing in native 2K and recording this in native 2K through OBS. So I have some background processes going on. So take that into consideration when you read the performance overlay in the center lower part of the screen. So that I hope that this kind of provides valuable information in the way that I'm kind of taxing my minimum or low spec system unnecessarily. I'm not playing in 1080p, as I said, I'm playing in 2K and recording on the same time, so this should be kind of the worst case scenario that this game or regarding how this game runs. My internet is close to or at the kind of I think it's ideal or top tier or that Microsoft again provides on their site. So I have 10 megabytes upload and 100 megabytes download. And it's connected with a cord or cable to my PC. So so I kind of have, on the one end I have the minimum spec performance in the hardware side of things, my computer, but then software, I'm not sure what to call it, but the internet, the bandwidth is then on the top tier side. So I think and hope that this is gonna be a valuable kind of practical performance review, and then of course we're gonna look at the general graphical appearance of the game and just wing it, so to say, pun intended, and compare it to compare it to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I'm gonna do a separate comparison also, so actually edit a screen with one side is the old game Msfs 2020 and the new game then on the other side Msfs 2024. But now I jumped into, I could say, the local airfield. I am from southern Finland and actually live close enough to this airfield so that I can kind of look out the window and tell you if the live weather feature is accurate. And I can say that it's really accurate. We have now, I think, actually I have my clock connected to my phone, so it tells me, and as I look out the window, that we are at more or less 0 degrees Celsius, and we are getting, I'm not sure what to call it, but it's snowing outside, and it's really poor visibility, medium wind, not storm, but medium wind, and we have this we call it loska in Finnish, or räntä, as it, loska is what you get on the ground, the partially melted snow. Lumi or lunta is snow. Loska is when it's partially melted, and then Lumi also when it falls down as snow, so Lumi is snow, and Ranta means partially melted snow before it hits the ground. So yeah, there's your there's your short Finnish lecture or Finnish language lecture. Let's see if my controller is connected. So alright, I should be, I'm gonna take off first, but I should be on native medium settings right now. Yeah, I must say the live weather actually looks accurate. Nothing to complain here. It looks exactly, more or less exactly how it is in general area where I live. But yeah, let's take off first and foremost and focus on the performance and appearance. I'm gonna visit a few locations. I'm gonna go through low, medium and high. I'm not sure if ultra is necessary because my system is not capable enough for that. But yeah, I have about 6 hours on the game so far. So I feel like I have enough experience so that I can do kind of this launch time version 1.0, so to say, video regarding performance and appearance. And yeah, what you see is kind of what you get here. So let's double check that I'm actually, no, not my main menu. I'm actually at medium settings. Let's start from low end. Just because, and as you see, full screen, 2K, TAA, rendering scaling 100, AMD Fidelity FX. I have a Nvidia graphics card. You can read it in the description, but it's a 1070 with 8 gigabytes of RAM or VRAM. And VSync is off. Should be off. Yeah, that's how I roll. No. That's how I roll. Don't use that one. But yeah, the performance is down below how much utility, how much it utilizes the hardware side of the system. And I'm gonna actually open Windows Task Manager at some point and also then let you know, narrate, comment on what kind of internet utilization is going on live. I could actually do that. Right now, you cannot see my task manager here, but alright, so we are hovering around or between, let's say, 5 and 10 megabytes per second download, and that's I think normal as we are flying in the near proximity of Finnish or over the Finnish capital region, and it's foggy. It's not the most taxing environment right now. I'm gonna change the weather. We are at medium settings. No, sorry, low settings at this point. But let's go through the clear skies. Let's go through the default weather settings as we fly. I'm gonna let the date be as it is. I think it's real time maybe. Yeah. And yeah, I'm fortunate enough that I can play the game. I was live streaming yesterday evening, and in the live chat got notified that there are several locations in the world that cannot play the game because of the 97% bug and other cloud computing and online problems. I had the problem also. I did a live stream that turned out to be a 3-hour trivia with me, Ode, and AI Sky. We had some aviation and general world geographical kind of trivias going on. It was fun. Thank you for being a part of that. Maybe we do similar things in future with included gameplay, because that time we only looked at the looping loading screen with the deer and the, you know, the default one with the deer and the fire fighting and the rescue missions and whatnot, the banner that the airplane drags behind it in the air. You know the video. And yeah, 3 hours of that, then I gave up, and the next morning it had loaded everything ready, so that when I fired up the game, now it's yesterday, yeah, it then worked. And I am fortunate enough that I can play the game, so I'm gonna do my best to provide you some hopefully valuable information. But yeah, here we go. Performance, you can see it down below. Low settings. And I'm gonna say, first and foremost, in general, my first impressions are, regarding performance, not visuals, but performance, that Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is on par or about 5 frames a second lower in its FPS generation. And yeah, you heard me right. It's on par or lower. On par or lower. And that's not good if you think about it in pure numbers. But then, and here we see we're falling down to 20 on low settings. Yeah, I repeat, on low settings. I get 35 to 40 in FS 2020. So yeah, that's, yeah, now we're up to 25 to 30, but yeah. Even though we have lower frames per second, it seems like the dips, the occasional or quite often I got dips in 2020. So even though the frame rates were higher, it dipped and had this jagged kind of feeling to it, more so than 2024. So yeah, lower frames, on par or lower frames in the new game slash sim. And then the new game is smoother in general. So yeah, that's a plus, I guess. We have a minus and a plus. But yeah, I would rather have more frames, and yeah, all right. I would not. I'm not care. I'm not. I do not want the frame dips, of course, but it's not often that lower frame rate generation is better than higher. In this case, it seems like there's a trade-off, negative and positive, but yeah, I'm not sure why. That's just what I see on the screen. And it seems to be that the game maintains a similar performance regarding frame generation on different altitudes. So we are at 500 now, feet up in the air. We're at about 30 frames per second. Okay, if we are at the treetop level, it dives down to about 20. But in different locations, especially when I'm in urban city centers, it seems like there's a system then that kind of, and I'm not sure if this is present in 2020, but it tries to maintain a similar frames per second value on different in different heights or altitudes. That may be me misreading something, but maybe there's a system with the internet side of things that then kind of compensates. Now in my specific case, when I have this low end or low tier hardware, my PC is really down there in relation to performance. So, and as my internet is on the other end, it's on the high end, maybe there's some dynamic computation going on between hardware and cloud computing. Don't know. But yeah, 30 frames per second. We are still climbing, just to make a point here. It stays at about 30. And let's see if we climb to about 4,000 feet. If it changes a lot. If we gain any frames. Some YouTubers and channels that are better on the actual technical side of analyzing performance claim that the hardware utilization is subpar. If I understood correctly, FS 2024 is not taking advantage of strong hardware, graphics card and CPUs. I may be wrong, but that's kind of what I understood when I did some research trying to understand what the differences are here. And I mean, okay, we are on low right now, but it's not capping out our GPU. We are at 90, 95. And then we should have multi-threading. Also, we have 6 cores, 6 threads. All of them have some percentages on them, but yeah, I'm not sure. It's seldom that I get in really intensive urban sceneries even though I put on high or ultra starts to jump all around, it bugs out, but high is something I can play on, even though the frames drop to close to 10, and that's not good, of course. It's not playable, but seldom. How do you say it? I'm seldom in a situation where I see the CPU going over 50%. Really seldom. So yeah, don't know if the resources are not needed. That could be the case, or then just there's the utilization kind of problem, if that's a problem. But yeah, here we are now at soon 5,500 feet, and we're still at 32 frames, so similar frames, even though we're higher up, and we're looking at the Finnish, southern Finland's archipelago and islands here. So yeah, that's kind of my point from before, that in several locations I have noticed that it goes down even on high, that is taxing my system a lot. It doesn't want to dip down below, let's say, 15 frames. I'm not sure. Of course there's some dips. I had 12 frames a second. I'm not sure if it was medium or high in Tokyo, and I was flying kind of just barely over the rooftops, almost brushing the rooftops, and it dipped down to 12, but in general it stayed at 15. And then when I gained altitude, it went up to maybe 20, but the deviation, the volatility in the frame generation tries to, or seems that it tries to stay kind of in some sort of middle ground. All right, enough of that. But yeah, here we are, 6,000 feet, 30 frames a second, and when we were back down at 500, we were at 30 frames a second, about. So yeah, that's my point here. And I should have unlimited frames on, but let's just go up to medium, 6,000 feet. Let's keep 6,000 feet. Where's my settings? Everything is as it should. We dropped down about 8 to 10 frames a second. It's similar to the technical alpha, if I remember correctly. So 20 frames a second, 22 frames a second, medium, at 6,000 feet. I'm not that impressed with that, to be perfectly honest. I think I have about 30 frames a second, or just above 30 frames per second in FS 2020 in a similar situation. So there's a clear, it's clearly lacking some frames compared to the old game. Yeah, alright, 22. Let's go now descend again. Talk about the actual drawing distance and performance. One thing I have noticed and have said in a couple of instances is that it seems like 2020, overspeed. It seems like 2020 is more colorful and bright and vibrant with its art style, let's say, its hue Then again, 24 is maybe more realistic in the way that we have now seasonal differences and changes. And the kind of atmospheric haze, if one can call that, is more prominent in the new games / sim. Yeah, here we go again. Let's see. Yeah, just a couple of things that I have noticed. Of course, the foliage is clearly different. When we have this is a coniferous forest, so hence it's not turning color, stays green, or yeah, if we have leaves, it turns to autumn colors, you know, reds, oranges, browns, such things. That's a clear difference. But yeah, honestly, I also thought that on top of the live weather, it's good that I fly here in southern Finland, because in general I think this is not a location that is really focused on as far as handcrafted airports and, you know, yeah, attention to detail. I think this is generated mostly with there were a frame dip down to 11. Yeah, mostly, or most of the information here comes from the general kind of throng or bunch, or yeah, the general bag of GPS information and cloud information, cloud computing, servers and whatnot. I'm not sure, I'm not that technical, but yeah, this is what you get, I think. In a way, I think this is the worst case. There's a pole. Is that a tree or a radio mast? I'm not sure. But as you see, we're dipping down to 15 frames, 14, even sub 15 frames a second in a semi-rural wild location. There's a lot of forest. We have been here for a while, so the background memory, the cache and whatnot should have loaded in the textures. And we're only at medium settings. So I'm not impressed with the frame generation. Have to be honest, of course. And should I even try high? Not here. We dipped down to 15 or so. If we are at 6,000 feet, we were at 22 frames a second. So yeah, the frames again are semi... what's the word? They stay on a similar level, let's say. But then yeah, 21 now. At is the altitude? What's the altitude doing? Is it bugging out? 50, 60 feet, 60 feet above water level. No, that can't be right. 100 feet. Well, in any case, this seems more like 5 to 700, maybe even 1,000 feet above the water. But yeah, 20 frames a second, and it's the same thing then when we go up to 6,000 feet and so yeah. Alright, let's go to another location. Why am I at the weather? Let's try. I mean, remember the frames here in the general area around Helsinki. And now let's go to a more urban area, a large city. I think Paris, France is a good option. Maybe we take a... What's the... Where's Rome again? Isn't Rome here on the west coast of Italy? Oh, there, Rome. I mean, a large city. If we load into here, south, and take a turn towards southwest, 2, 3, let's count 4. Counting the loading time. About 15 seconds. Yeah, alright, 15 to 20 seconds, so that's not that bad. Let's say about 20. Well, if you wait for the actual ready to start button. Ready to fly, so I guess now we're talking about 30 seconds or so. And kind of talk about the similar things here. We have now live weather, so let it be on live weather for a moment. And we are still on medium, the medium default kind of graphical preset with a 2K resolution. So yeah, look at the frames. 11 frames per second. I mean, really, 11, 12 frames per second. 1,500 feet above the sea level, if the altitude meter now works correctly. I'm slightly baffled. I think the performance is lacking quite a lot. I would say that I'm getting quite often about 30 frames per second on medium, 25 to 30. Urban areas, it could dip beneath 25. 25 when you're flying really low in Msfs 2020. But here, 1,300, 1,500 feet above the sea level, it's not a super dense city. Let's see if we turn back towards the center, but we're at sub 15 even. And it's really taxing. Yeah, that's not good, to be honest, at this point. It's not good. Alright, so we know about what kind of level we get with the performance. So now let's focus a little on the graphics, the presentation, the visuals. And I think it's on par or better. As I said, FS 2020 seems more artistic in a way. It's more bloomy, more lush, if that's the right word. It has a more vibrant color palette in general, if that's fair to say. That could be the seasons, of course. And we're gonna maybe try here. Actually, Italy, where we're so far south, so we should have maybe tried it in Finland to put kind of. Well, it's late autumn, early winter here, but we flew over locations where there were coniferous forests, so we did not get kind of the different foliage colors, autumn colors. But it's present. Let's see if we can get any of those here. I'm not sure how cold it gets actually in Italy. But yeah, there's a clear kind of grid line, it seems like, in the terrain. Not sure if that's accurate to real life, but yeah, let's climb a little. The clouds also, medium settings compared to the old game. Again, what's realistic, what's not. When I look out into the sky, there's a lot of different clouds. Some of them are really contrastful and clear shaped. Depends on the lighting conditions, the shadows. And then we have, now we have a gray white, natural white, even color here in Finland. And here in the game, in Italy, we have a more soft kind of cloud cover. So yeah, what's realistic, what's not. I can adjust the weather, and maybe I should actually, so that we have really high contrast in the clouds. But yeah, what I'm trying maybe to say here is that, again, maybe 2020 is slightly more kind of leaning towards an oversaturated, not much, but slightly kind of trying to draw a As I said, a more I don't know, a more dreamlike, lush and vibrant scene when you play the game, and maybe then I would tilt towards 2024 being more realistic, not trying to be too vibrant when it should not be that. Yeah, but then again, there's a general softness to 2024 that maybe seems slightly too soft. The clouds especially. But let's see, custom. Yeah, custom. Come on. Let's try. Oh, there. Let's try. Well, take a short trip with clear skies just to see the performance. 2025. We were down at sub 15 at 1,500 feet. Let's see if we go down to 1,500. If it kind of loaded in some background memory cache, processes and such. If that's the case, maybe it stays at about 20. Oh, don't overspeed this. Calm down, calm down. Yeah, so maybe that's the case. Maybe we're at 1,000 feet right now. Let's see if it dips down. Let's settle at 1,000 feet above the water level here. Maybe also we're not far away from Rome city center, so let's turn back towards that location. It seems to stabilize at about 20 frames a second, so when you load into a new area, it seems that the internet side of things and cloud computing, it takes its sweet time sometimes to load in assets and then stabilize the general area. So as I said, I have 10 megabytes up, 100 megabytes down with a cord attached to my PC. So I should have the best case scenario. And when I flew in Tokyo and Australia, was it Sydney? Yeah, so Japan and Australia, in these cases, I did not get peaks even over 60 megabytes per second, and I have 100 available. So my internet should not be the bottleneck in this case. My internet should be capable of everything that Msfs 2024 throws at it. And the bottleneck should be then the hardware, right? With that logic. But still, we have slow, I would say that kind of slow asset downloading. Even in this case now, maybe it changes now when we go back towards Rome. Let's put down, back the live weather just to have a apples to apples. Yeah, apples to apples comparison. 1,500 feet and we dipped down to sub 15, so well, it doesn't look that good. I was hoping we would stay at 20 frames per second, but now 17, 16, 17. Let's try to keep it at this is the general path I think we took, kind of east of Rome. Again, not the most intensive area, even though Rome is a big city in my limited knowledge. But alright, we're dipping to 15 and maybe even under, and we're at 1,800 feet, so let's descend a little. Yeah, alright, scratch that what I thought that happened, that it kind of loaded in assets. I think of course it does that also, but it seems to make little to none difference. We were at even 12-ish, I think. I'm not sure if we're down to 10 earlier, but if we gain some frames, it's like 3 frames or something like that. It's something, but it's not much. Alright, so no, custom first. light thunderstorm, try to make it look really cinematic in a way. Coverage, density, scatter. But you see what I mean when I say that it's kind of soft. I mean, of course, we do not get really high contrast on the clouds all the time in FS 2020, but let's adjust the time of day even. Oh, there. Try to really make it pop. We're at medium settings, 15 frames a second again. I don't like it. It's of course the first days of the launch, or after the launch, but still, it's not. It's my first impressions are slightly negative. Have to be honest. Of course. Let's try to adjust the clouds. Separately. Where's the clouds? Yeah, so alright, now the clouds are on ultra. And of course, there's some limitations to how good ultra looks because my system is not optimal, sorry. It's not the best PC out there, but still, trying to push the clouds. And there's this general softness. It looks nice, angelica even, and you have this depth of field, HDR kind of. You have clouds closer and you have clouds further away. You see partially through some layers and some layers are thicker. Then we have in the background really contrastful layers here. So again, I'm not trying to say, or I'm not saying that this is wrong or bad. It's different, it's soft in a way. But is it then also more realistic? That's my question. It's different. But yeah, you tell me if it's better or worse. Because we have then, I'm not sure how long it would take us to actually fly towards that front there. I assume maybe the actual cloud layers on top of us now look like this. And then the more soft looking downfall, rain here, is, oh, sensitive. Let's put down the sensitivity. Well, come on. Yeah, in front of us, beneath that table top kind of cloud layer, we have similar softness underneath. So, oh, and some lightning. So that then maybe is comparable with what we see here. So, oh, and a beautiful rainbow. Yeah. All right. Performance at par or below FS 2020, and the visual aspect then different. Not necessarily worse, but different. Performance is slightly sub or beneath 2020, but visuals, please, please tell me in the comments. Look at the fields. And they look like fields, so that's a good thing. I mean, that's a good starting point at least. But yeah, the frames are more or less, not maybe awful, but borderline awful. And there's the drawing distance with clouds on ultra, with my minimum spec or low-end PC, so a good scenic view, I think. Now I'm gonna visit one more location with or hey, we are, yeah, I'm not sure, maybe we should actually just, no, I want skyscrapers, high skyscrapers. So Where to go? New York, maybe. New York is really, I think that's a good place because it's really tightly packed. And yeah, I flew here with a, actually with a drone. If you wanna go and check one of the live streams, I think it was live stream number 2, launch live stream number 2 on entire the retreat here, and I flew with a drone within or in between the skyscrapers. And yeah, spoiler alert, it's not the best renderation. Of course my PC is struggling, and we have to adjust the time of day because oh. But first and foremost, let's check out this fog between skyscrapers. What time of day should I put? Because I want some. Oh, that's there. Oh, it's really a thick cloud. I have, I think, time of day now so that it should be the brightest time of the day. Is these... Where are we? Are we south? South, so we should be close to the Statue of Liberty, maybe? No, sorry, now I know where we are. Alright, Brooklyn Bridge. So here we go. Maybe, yeah, we can also adjust to nighttime here in a short while. Hopefully I remember that, but... The water looks good in this game. It was not bad in FS 2020, but it looks really good in this game. We have this grey, stormy, upset water. Yeah, I mean the bottom sediments and sand and whatnot, dirt kind of gets stirred up when the water is upset, so to say. Somebody said that we cannot fly beneath bridges in this game, so I'm not gonna try that. That was the same in 2020. Please, Microsoft, fix that if you can. I'm sure they're gonna work on it, but how long it's gonna take, I'm not sure. But here again, one thing I think is better here in 2024 is kind of the depth in the atmospheric fog, mist, you know, ozone in general. At least with, no, this is live weather, but also in the presets. I'm sure if I would tweak everything in 2020, I would get similar results, but have to lift up my hat and share also the good stuff. It's not only bad stuff. We get a lot of grid kind of mesh loading here on the same time. Gee, this is airy. Almost ghostly. Look at the fog. Yeah, I'm trying to, hopefully this is visible in the recording, but the fog, I'm dreading flying too low here, but if we look at the fog, oh, this is bad. Ooh, I have to be in third person view so that I see the water. Trying to look at the altitude at the same time, but yeah, the fog on top of the water. Jesus, I mean, do not do this in real life. I can't see where I'm going. Oh, there's some buildings. Alright. Whoa. So I think we are flying along the Hudson. We can look top left corner that we are doing that. But yeah, look, this is impressive. How it renders the fog on top of the water and on ground level. But then, curiously, we are flying along the Hudson around Manhattan, and we are getting a couple of frames better performance than in Finland, southern Finland, rural south of Finland, close to Helsinki, and Rome, Italy. So why is my question. I have been here, yes, before. So is there some preloaded cache memory that is utilized by cloud computing or my system? There's a lot of kind of jagged edges here. You saw it there. Oh, here also. Yeah, that you can see in the fog. with my medium settings. I have high, yeah, so I have medium settings, native medium settings, 2K, but I have now, I still have ultra, yeah, ultra on the clouds. And we have a lot of clouds here. Oh, this is bad. I have to gain some altitude. Yeah, so still we get a couple of frames better performance than in Finland and Italy. So this should be really resource intensive. Let's try to, or let's adjust. Maybe it's also because there's a lot of fog, so it doesn't render the far away horizon. But it's similar when I have clear skies on. Yeah, yes?
132.7 Diamond Tree 69er.
And it's smoother, yeah, you gain a couple of frames a second when you're inside the airplane. It has doesn't have to render the whole kind of panoramic scene. So we'll 3-4 frames a second higher when inside the airplane. Yeah, but here, look at the buildings, medium. I'm not gonna put it on ultra. It really starts to jump back and forth and side to side, and it bugs out. Then high I can sometimes get to be smooth, high preset, but that also sometimes jump up and down like this. And the photogrammetry is not better than in FS 2020. Maybe even worse. Kind of the same thing with with the frame rates. It's on par, similar to 2020, or slightly worse. Foliage, I think it's not as overgrown. It's more realistic, maybe. I've never been to New York, so I can't say for sure. If somebody of you who are watching this have been to New York, please let me know. At some point somebody told me that I was flying on a flight path near Empire State Building where there was Billionaires Row or something like that. Meaning that there were thin, tall skyscrapers there, that if I would have flown there for real, I would have crashed into them. But yeah, the game is then of course not the latest and greatest GPS information, if that's true. Let's take a run towards the Statue of Liberty. I mean a famous landmark here. And then we're gonna adjust to nighttime and end the episode soon, because this is what you get. I'm gonna do more deep dives into the reviews as far as my knowledge kind of lets me. I'm not a specialist if we talk about the most technical aspects, but know enough so that I hope that I can provide some value, especially with the gameplay in the background. Can we zoom in a little? Where's my cursor? But it's not really, it's not better, clearly better. I'm not going, oh wow, that it would justify my purchase, sadly, for real. I'm not trying to be a, what's the word, a Debbie Downer or something like that. It's just the thing at this point is that it's not better. Really, it's not better. Of course, FS 2020 has 4 years of optimization and development on this title. But when you sell a new game, a completely new game, yeah, one assumes that there's improvements, especially how Microsoft advertised it. So, alright, nighttime and then walk. Let's do that, because walking is a thing here. So, nighttime, clear skies. There you go. Medium settings, clouds on ultra, 2K, low spec PC. The description includes the information relating to what system I'm playing this on, internet and everything. But yeah, curiously, it's a 3 to 4 maybe frames better than Rome and than Finland. Is that because we must fly slightly higher over skyscraper rooftops? Not sure. When we flew down and there were more foliage, more trees, maybe that's the case, that the actual vegetation in this new FS24 game / sim is resource intensive. So in 2020 I would claim that it were easier for the system, my system at least, to render flora, vegetation, trees, you know. But in FS24 at this point it seems like it's more resource intensive. And yeah, when I flew over or around New York, that kind of was the thing that tested the computer a lot more. It does it here also, of course, but on the same time it seems like it's more equal between urban cityscapes and more rural. I must look that up. Is it rural or rural areas? Wilderness in general. But yeah, if you're playing in 1080p, not recording in the background, of course you're gonna gain some frames. This is 2K native and I'm recording in 2K native. And I'm still able to play the game, but we have to compare it to the... Not have to, but it's a natural thing to compare it to the title before. So if we completely forget that there's a title that is called Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and take off the performance overlay that I have in the middle or lower middle part of the screen, still I would notice with these settings that okay, it's jagged. But if this would be the title that came out instead of 2020, I mean, it would be nice, not great, not bad, somewhere in between. But we have to compare it to 2020 because that came out 4 years ago from the same developers. So yeah, walking, this is gonna be a crash now, I'm sorry for that, because I'm not gonna maybe be able to land inside New York. And I'm not sure if you wanna see, I'm gonna do a separate comparison where I have, as I said, side by side low, medium, high, and even in some cases ultra settings on. So there you can then stare at the different side-by-side video feeds and evaluate for yourself that what's the main differences, if any, between 2020 and 2024. But now I'm just gonna leave it at medium settings, maybe play around when I'm walking on the ground with the graphical presets, but otherwise this is gonna be... Maybe there's a bridge I can land on. Yeah, you can crash the airplane without consequences in 2024. The only difference, you got a black screen in 2020, and here you get you don't get the black screen and then you roll around. You can leave the airplane on its roof and everything, so... Let's see. Can I get on top of or over this bridge? No, I'm losing altitude. God damn it. Alright, that happened. Alright, this happened. Maybe we can actually jump out so that we're on the bridge. I was planning on flying over the bridge and landing in the distance there on the road. But yeah, I did this instead. So yeah. Ooh, where's the... Pull up, no. Mayday, that's the thing. Can we actually... How do we do this? Where... Okay, the airplane is above us. Let's not stay here. If that falls down, we are screwed. So here we are now. That's a car. Yeah. I'm not sure. What should one expect? Should I expect? Okay, there's a tunnel. Should I expect better? Question. Should I? Should we? Really, let me know in the comments. Because I know, of course, there's Verizon. Let's say phone or a phone company or something. I'm not sure. Hashtag not sponsored. But yeah, yeah. Should we demand better? Of course we should. But what's realistic? There's the floating. Oh, they have wheels. Some of them. And I hear the city kind of. Oh, let's do that. I'm gonna compete with the sounds a little now, but let's do that for added immersion. Like so. So I'm not sure how well you hear me right now, but I'm gonna be quiet. Leave you with kind of the question. In general, relating to this video, should we demand better? My answer is yes. What parts should we demand a better performance? The easy answer is everything, of course. It's a new game. Then is the appearance and the visual part of the game good enough at this point? Rendering these much details, realism regarding locations, the clouds and sky. This looks awful, but yeah, I leave you with the question: what are we allowed to demand? And I'm gonna walk around for a moment and just look at the scenery. Maybe I can actually put on high because we're walking, just to see if it makes a difference. Ultra is too much. Yeah, I leave you with that. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Gonna do a lot more videos on Msfs 2024, and also we do the more explorative documentary style adventures with AI Sky and learn about the world in the process. So yeah.